Do you have solo economic dependency? That is, if you aren't working, you aren't making money. The Art of Passive Income podcast is the solution. Discover passive income models so you can enjoy life on your own terms. Let freedom ring.
Hey, it's Mark Podolsky, the Land Geek, with your favorite niche real estate website, www.thelandgeek.com. And before we get into my guest today, whom is, let's just, like, you know him, but you don't know him kind of guy. Like, he's kind of huge. Dare I say our biggest guest ever, and we've had some big guests. It's going to be a great podcast. So if you're driving, you're going to want to pull over for this one. But before we get into my big guest, I want to plug away. So if you haven't gone to thelandgeek.com and you haven't downloaded for free the Passive Income Blueprint, or you haven't registered for free the Flight School web class, go ahead and do that. If you're not automating your Craigslist postings, go to postingdomination.com/thelandgeek. And today's podcast is sponsored by Loan Geek. Start automating your payments and your notes. All right, enough's enough. My guest, you probably don't know his name, or maybe you do, is Brian Scudamore. But I guarantee if you're on planet Earth, you've heard of his companies. 1-800-GOT-JUNK, the CEO. Plus, you probably have heard about some of the other brands. Wow, One Day Painting, You Move Me, and Shack Shine. Brian, almost $1 billion in revenue?
The goal is $1 billion in revenue. You're way far ahead of us. We're a quarter of the way there, almost a third, and we are loving life. We're having fun. We're growing 4 brands. 1-800-GOT-JUNK is the biggest. It would account for $200 million. And we're taking the systems, the learning, the know-how from 1-800-GOT-JUNK, the first baby, so to speak, in the brands, and we're leveraging it into other home services, moving, gutter cleaning, painting people's homes in a day, you name it.
Come on, Brian. Let's get real. You can't paint someone's home in a day.
Sure you can. You can paint a room in a day, right? We've all done it. You put 1 or 2 people in a room, you can paint it in a day. It's a numbers game. All we do is we put enough people in that house, 1 or 2 people in each room. So when my house got painted, when I first discovered, wow, One Day Painting as a concept, I was looking to get my house painted. And this company comes in and they put 16 people in my house. And I thought, 16 people, it just sounds crazy. But when I realized it was 1 to 2 people per room, that doesn't sound cluttered. Everybody focused on that one room, that one task. And when I came home at 6:30 p.m. on the night of painting, floor to ceiling, moldings, trim, everything was done immaculately, and I was blown away and decided to buy the company.
It's crazy because, like, is it affordable? Like, I'm thinking, okay, you get it all done in one day, $10 a foot, $20 a foot.
Right.
Right?
It doesn't make it any more expensive. So the way I look at it is you've got less cleanup, setup, prep than you would if you did it over a week or 2 weeks. So think of all the time opening cans, mixing paint, putting down drop cloths, all the chit chat and wasted time versus, hey, we've got to get it done in a day. One person, everybody focuses. You've got a foreman, a 4-person walking around, making sure the quality's there, everyone's on task. It actually ends up making us more money and saves the customer. It certainly doesn't cost them a premium. And it's a pretty cool way of it. We've reinvented the way painting someone's home gets done.
Yeah, it's amazing. What's more interesting to me, what I really want to kind of delve deep about a little bit more, is how you started 1-800-GOT-JUNK and were able to navigate through the toughest period, which is, typically like $1 million to $5 million, and then usually once you get over 5, like, it gets a little bit easier with systems and processes and people and all of that, right? And then I also want to ask about the passive income side of it, as far as being, a franchisee. So let me first ask you about your beginnings and how Brian Scudamore became Brian Scudamore.
Yeah, I was 18 years old, 1 course short of graduation from high school. I was trying to talk my way into college. I didn't finish high school, and my parents weren't going to fund my education. So that meant getting out and finding a high-paying job that made me enough money to pay for college. And there I was in a McDonald's drive-through in Vancouver, and I saw this beat-up old pickup truck with plywood side panels built up on the box, and looked at the truck and I went, that's my ticket. I went out and bought a truck for $700, put the rest of my $1,000 into flyers and business cards, started knocking on doors and driving down alleys, laneways. When someone had a pile of junk, I introduced myself as Brian from 1-800-GOT-JUNK, here to haul away your junk, and the rest is history. It took me 8 years to get to $1 million in revenue, but we do $1 million in revenue on a busy day in our busy season at this time of business. So it's pretty cool what we've grown, but like they say, these overnight success stories sure take a long time. It's been 27 years of building this, but we've never stopped having fun, and we're leveraging it into other cool home services.
All right. So if I could build a time machine for you and I could take you back to, let's say, 1991 or 1992, when you're super young, you're building, you're kind of going, is there anything you would do differently?
It's a great question. It's one I get asked a lot, and the answer's never changed. Would I do anything differently? Absolutely not. I needed to make every mistake I've ever made to get to where I am today. We have a culture called a WTF culture. What that really stands for is willing to fail. We want to know that the people that we have in our great organization are able to make mistakes, accept them, and learn from them and move on. So when I made mistakes like firing my entire team of 1-800-GOT-JUNK employees, all 11 of them, when we were $500,000 in revenue, I had the wrong people. It was my fault as the leader, no one else's fault, but I didn't make the right hires. I didn't train them, give them the love and support that they needed. So I got rid of them. That tough lesson taught me that you've got to find the right people and treat them right. If I didn't make that mistake, how was I ever to learn? And so would I do anything differently? No. Am I considering getting a treadmill for my office like you? I'm watching you on video here on this treadmill, and I'm like, who's this lazy guy on the other side? Me, Brian Scudamore, sitting down. So I know we're not doing video, so I keep standing up every once in a while. But treadmill, your tread desk.
No, it's good. It's good. I mean, probably while we're even doing this podcast, you probably just bought the domain 1-800-treadmill desk, and that's going to be like exactly the next franchise. So so Brian, I'm racing you right now to GoDaddy.
There you go.
Right. So we're going to add it to O2 eBrands. Okay. So, it's interesting though about leadership and making these mistakes. Cause you must talk to a lot of CEOs, a lot of people, probably want to pick your brain. Because let's face it, you're kind of in that rare echelon of entrepreneur that's gotten, that's grown their business that level. Like what is it? 98% of the companies are 5 million or less. Is that right? I don't know. There's some number. I don't know. But there's not a lot that are this, 250 million in revenue and doing what you're doing. So as far as creating this kind of culture where you can have this kind of growth, where you can have these systems, what would you recommend? As just being a leader, what kind of leader are you?
Mm-hmm. Part of it is just having a stick-with-itness. It's somebody going, okay, what's my idea? And just because it isn't getting me to $1 million in revenue in the first year or the first 5 years, doesn't mean you should give up. So for me, again, 8 years to get to $1 million in revenue, but we do $1 million in a day at this point. So it took 27 years to get that momentum, that flywheel going. I think it's like exercise. We look at exercise and think, oh, I'm going to go to the gym today, and which I will tonight. And then I expect to come home and look like a new guy. No, it takes time. You've got to do it consistently. You can't just turn over a new leaf and decide this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to the gym today. You have to decide and commit to going to the gym and eating healthy day in, day out for months before you see results. So with a business, building a great company is going through the ups and downs, making the mistakes, taking the learning, and constantly tweaking the model and getting better. I think too many people give up way too soon. Entrepreneurs that come to me that, are 3 years into their business and they're like, oh, I want a franchise. And I'm like, okay, great idea. How's your business going? Well, we're not quite making money yet, but if I franchise, I can. It's like, no, franchising is figuring out the recipe It's getting the model right. So if you have a franchise organization that you haven't figured, or you're about to create one and you haven't figured out your own franchise, nobody's going to make money. Nobody's going to grow a business, and it'll implode very quickly.
Yeah. I mean, franchising, like, cause I used to do investment banking, and we would look at that model like, oh gosh, it's a tough model. Because ultimately, like, there's always like this friction between franchisor and franchisee. When the franchisor or the franchisee starts becoming really successful, and then all of a sudden they're like, what am I paying this royalty for every year, every month, or every quarter, right? And they kind of start losing that. It's kind of like, what's the familiarity breeds contempt. It's like, yeah, your brand got me to this level, but now what do I anymore? Yeah. I don't need you anymore. I mean, do you see that a lot?
I see it in other franchise organizations, and I'm not saying we're perfect and we don't make mistakes, because we do. But what I do see is that we're constantly focused on the relationship we have with our franchise partners. Tons of face-to-face meetings, lots of human contact, phone contact, and really getting to know people and staying close with them. And I think that's made a difference for us by building the relationship and realizing we call our franchisees franchise partners. That's a term we coined that we've stuck with because we're partners. We depend on each other to be successful. If the franchisor is making money and the franchisee isn't, things implode, or vice versa. And so we both have to be doing well. We both have to be growing together, learning together, and that's been, I think, one of our secrets. And it's something we practice through all of the O2E brands. So you can't take something ordinary, a business, and make it exceptional as we're doing without having that level of communication and collaboration with your people.
Yeah, I agree 100%. So to become a franchisee, what does that entail? Like, how do you pick the right partner? Like, what are the attributes you're looking for? Like, I can come in and say, hey, Brian, I got a couple $1 million here. I'm going to be totally passive, right? I'm just going to make an investment. I'm going to make 10%, right? And it's just going to happen like this because I got 1-800 junk on my truck, and I'll hire someone to drive it, and they're going to do it, and systems are in place, and it can be totally passive. Or, yeah, I'll paint your house in one day, gutters, whatever it is, right? Would you look at me like, Mark, no, you're the worst partner, the worst attitude I've ever seen. Take the treadmill desk and go home.
Yeah, take the treadmill desk, put it in the back of the 1-800 junk truck, and drive it where it needs to go. It's one of these things where we are looking for active partners. We're looking for people that want to roll up their sleeves, get into the business. We don't want someone staying in the trucks forever, but we want them understanding the front lines so that they can teach people. I was in the trucks for 6 years before I truly got out and started to lead and grow the company. But we want people to spend 6 months understanding how to do gutters, power washing, painting, whatever the brand is that they're a part of. And why that's so important is you can't lead people without this is awesome. I love that you dropped the mic under the treadmill, and I'm only highlighting that because people can't see this on audio, but it's great. I saw it. So sorry for the distraction. You'll probably edit me out there.
Not at all. This makes the podcast better.
But seriously, it's one of these things where we want people that are hands-on, hungry, hardworking, and that really want to grow something with us. And being passive just isn't what we're looking for. Nothing wrong with passive investments and passive income. That's not our model at O2E Brands.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because I had a podcast called the Best Passive Income Model Podcast, and I would have this shtick and say, I'd explain my model to, entrepreneurs like you and say, do I have the best passive income model? And, a lot of them just, would say yes, and some of them would say, well, you're the best passive income model for you. But ultimately, like when we are teaching people how to buy and sell raw land, we say the exact same thing. Like, you can't teach somebody, you can't get out of a business that you completely don't understand yourself. And a lot of people want to skip that hard, inevitable, like it's just that step, like you can't avoid it, right? Like, I did everything myself with raw land investing for years and made all the mistakes. And now I can go and teach people how to avoid them. But until I made them, I couldn't do it, right? I couldn't build a team. So, you're able to leverage all this knowledge from 1-800-GOT-JUNK and this franchise model, and then grow it with the next big brand. Was there something challenging or different going from the next brand from 1-800-GOT-JUNK, or was it a seamless sort of transition?
Most entrepreneurs that I've studied fail their second time around. And I think we came close to failing the second time around, our second brand being Wow One Day Painting. And the reason why entrepreneurs often fail, and why I almost did, is you get a level of arrogance where you think, hey, I built the first one. I know how to do it. This is great. Let's just go do it again. Well, the painting industry is different than the junk removal market. And there were so many tweaks that we needed to make to the model, to the brand, to the type of people we were looking for. And there was hard work and sweat that needed to be put into that business before it was going to be successful. And I think that a lot of entrepreneurs start slow, like I did, 8 years to $1 million. You start slow, you get that learning. What I did with Wow One Day Painting is put a couple of $1,000,000 towards it and realized, you know what, money doesn't buy that success. Money can often give you the wrong message, because you can throw money towards something and think that it's working and put money at it very quickly, but you don't really get that organic learning out of the business. So we almost failed. We had the wrong leader in place, had to get another leader to take over. We had to tweak the brand from a very collegiate looking brand to much more of a home decor brand. Lots of changes we need to make, but again, it taught us for the third and the fourth time around, don't be so cocky, don't be so arrogant and think that we got this all figured out. Be more open to an organic level of growth, and it served us well.
Yeah, I love it, because, you hear all these stories about these VCs throwing money at these young kids, and it's almost like a curse for them. It's too much money. Then you have a company that has to shoestring, and it's in their DNA. Right? Like I think of Walmart, it's just in their DNA. They just keep everything very low costs. They keep their overhead low. And that's a really interesting answer. Now, I heard you on an interview with Andrew Warner of Mixergy. Mm-hmm. I actually was interviewed by Andrew too. He's a tough interviewer, isn't he?
I don't remember. I remember him. I don't remember the interview being tough.
He didn't ask you about your numbers. Brian, what's your numbers? What's your profitability? I don't believe you. Show me a P&L.
He probably did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's funny. He's like the nicest guy. But I know that you'd said that when you unplug completely, like this work-life balance of Brian Scudamore is very, very enticing. Can you explain it a little bit more in detail, what you're able to do?
Yeah, I'm a big believer in work hard, play hard. We've got this one life to live. Why not combine your personal stuff, your business stuff, and just live to the max? And it doesn't mean just go, go, go without stopping. I like to take my breaks and spend time with my family. And when I do, I believe in disconnecting. I don't want to be checking my phone for emails and making quick phone calls here and there. When I'm on vacation or I've got family time, I disconnect. So I get my assistant to change my passcode to my email. I don't trust myself from not checking my email. And if I take a 6-week vacation, I want to go what I call go dark. I go completely dark from all electronics. I'll still use a phone to call friends and family, but I'm not checking in on work ever. And it's made a huge difference for my life. We try to get, so this isn't just hey, the owner of the company gets to do this, lucky him after 27 years. We try and get all of our executive team, our people leaders, and at all levels of the company, we encourage people to have a backup person, a second in command that can do their job for them when they're on vacation. At O2E Brands, we get 5 weeks paid personal leave. We expect people to take it. So when you're on vacation, disconnect, unplug. You won't miss anything. And it's been tough for some to adopt, because I think we're in an addictive society of addicted to social media, addicted to technology and email. We found a way to make it work, and it's building great momentum for us.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand. I didn't hear a word you said. I was checking my email and tweeting while you were talking.
Multitasking doesn't work.
Right. Well, you saying you going dark, like I'm kind of picturing, like I'm closing my eyes and picturing myself like not bringing my iPhone on vacation, not voxing my team, being complete, like me going, like, I'm going to have a heart attack, Brian. Just thinking of it. But like the first time you did it, come on. Were you really, everything went okay? You came home 6 weeks later and 1-800-GOT-JUNK was still making money?
Yeah, I wouldn't say that every single time it's been perfect. I had a leader in place here who was the wrong leader, and I left to Italy and went and did a cooking school in Italy and came back 5 weeks later and felt like my team that I had in place, that we didn't know each other anymore. They, the leader that was the wrong leader in my business, she was overtaking politically my team and pulling them away from me while I was away. And that was real tough. But I learned again from that mistake and realized I didn't have the right person there and ultimately ended up making a change. But when you've got the right people in place, the right systems, the right support behind you, beneath you, whatever it might be, you're working together. And when you go away, you set clear expectations of what you need and where what you expect when you come back. And does it work perfectly? Not every time, but it certainly works well enough that I feel recharged and rejuvenated, and so do our people on our team when they do go dark and leave and come back.
It's great. And 5 weeks, I think, is something that's kind of rare, actually. I mean, that's very generous, isn't it? 5 weeks paid personal leave is a long time, and most people don't take it all at once. They'll take a couple of weeks here, a week there, but 5 weeks paid personal leave is rare. But when you're building a great company with great people, you need to have them live great lives. And to me, that's give them time with their family, give them time away. It takes work and effort to set it up that way, and it certainly costs money. But I think the longevity you have from your people, the loyalty you have from your people, much, much greater by having something like that in place. Yeah, I mean, if I was going to go full circle on this podcast, I think that the moral of the Brian Scudamore O2eBrands.com success story is getting the right people, training the right people, creating this, amazing culture where everyone's sort of aligned and all growing in the same way. And if you're not doing that, then you get rid of them, right? You don't kind of keep them in, which I think a lot of entrepreneurs have a hard time doing. They're slow to do it. I mean, Brian, do you have any advice as far as for those people?
Yeah, I think that people that are slow to get on board with finding the right people and treating them right, it's just a point in time when they discover that, it's all about people. That's all a business is. If you run a great business like I think Howard Schultz does with Starbucks, it's because they've got this culture and this caring program for taking care of their baristas and making them partners and investing in their health care. They treat them well, and in return, the baristas treat the company well and the customers well, and it all works like magic. But it's not really magic. It's just common sense. It's the golden rule. Treat others as you want to be treated. And I think once leaders really get that that's the most important thing, again, it does work like magic.
It's great. It's great. All right, Brian, are you ready to get put on the spot here?
I'm ready to get put on the spot.
All right. I'm going to ask you for your tip of the week, a website, a resource, a book, something actionable where the Art of Passive Income listeners can go right now, improve their businesses, improve their lives. What do you got?
Yeah, so topical point I think worth putting out there right now in my mind and in my world is health. Health is number one. You can't have a healthy business without a healthy mind. You can't have a healthy family without a healthy mind and body and all that sort of stuff. So big fan of eating well, exercising, all that sort of stuff, as you are too, I can tell on your treadmill. A book I've been reading for the second time that I've been loving and I think would be useful to your viewers is Dr. Mercola, Effortless Eating. I think everyone loves things that aren't hard work, that are shortcuts and a bit of a hack, if you will. And this effortless eating makes so much sense. I won't go into his book other than to say that it's a New York Times bestseller and for a reason.
Is this Elizabeth Yarnow?
No, it's Dr. Mercola, Mercola.
Mercola.
Dr. Mercola.
I'm on Google. Here we go. Dr. Mercola, effortless eating, Dr. Mercola. Do I have to read this or can I get the audio?
You can get the audio, or I download it onto my Kindle, onto my iPhone, and it's unbelievable. It's very well laid out for people that don't love to read like I do. You can read chunks and sections and some actionable things that people can do in their life to
Wait, this is effortless healing, not effortless eating.
Oh, sorry. Effortless healing. There we go.
Effortless healing. Got it. Okay. Got it.
Got the wrong title. But yeah, great book.
This looks great. All right, I'm going to get this book.
Awesome.
And I'm going to call the author and be like, hey, come on the podcast because the CEO of 1-800-GOT-JUNK referred it. Like,
there you go.
Yeah, see, like,
yeah, I know it just takes building, right?
Right.
No, why not?
Right. If name dropping's wrong, I don't want to be right.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So great tip of the week. My tip of the week is learn more about Brian and the brands. Go to O2E. And I'm gonna have a link to this. O is an Oscar, the number 2, E as in effortless, brands.com, O2ebrands.com. I still don't believe that he can paint the house in one day. I know he said he can.
Give us your address.
Well, okay. Well, let's. Can you do the outside of the house in one day?
You know what? Outside of the house, yes. However, you're restricted by things like weather. Can you prep the house, get it painted? The weather's got to cooperate, and we can't control the rain, the sun, all that sort of stuff. But interior, 80% of our business, yes. Most jobs are done in a day. If somebody's got a 10,000 square foot house, then you're talking about a big crew that we might not have access to, but.
Okay. So, but otherwise it's like 2 days. Get 10,000 square feet.
Exactly.
Wow. 2-day painting for mansions.
And we refer to a concept, what we stand for is speed plus quality equals wow. So we believe the two can go together. You can get it done quickly with quality. And that's when people go, wow, this is unbelievable. And so 2 days versus 14 days, hey, I'll take it if there's no compromise in quality.
I think you got a marketing problem, Brian. No.
Yeah, no.
Because I like my buddy just bought a house. I just bought a house, and I just painted my house. Like, shouldn't my realtor be like, dude, one day painting? Like, because like anyone you talk to, like, there's always 2 things you want to do when you get a new house. You want to get rid of the carpets. You want to repaint, right? Like, this should be like in the fabric of our society is that when you do this, or like even like apartment owners, like you should be on every real estate podcast possible. Yeah. Because one day painting is for everybody. Like, why? I mean, it
is for everybody. Why would you do it anywhere way else, right? And
because I didn't know, Brian, and I'm mad at you.
No, I know. I want to paint your house in a day. So if I look at our marketing of the business, that's the easy part, because when people see it and they get it, they love it. The hardest part for us as a franchise organization is finding enough painters. So when I reach out and talk to a franchise partner, they're like, hey, finding business ain't a problem. Get me more painters. So we're working on it. We're learning. We're growing. This year we'll do 15 million in revenue. Next year we'll do 30. So it's growing at a fast pace, and we're looking for lots of great people as owners to help us build the model across North America.
Well, yeah, I mean, we need someone in Phoenix. You're in Phoenix? Are you all over the country?
We're all over the nation. We're not in every market, and we're not in Phoenix yet.
Okay, so that's why. So I apologize for my aggressiveness towards you.
Oh,
you weren't even there.
You can pay me back by spreading the word. You can help us find someone in Phoenix.
I definitely will be spreading the word. Well, awesome. Brian Scudamore, I know you've got a very busy schedule. I want to just personally thank you for taking time out of your extremely busy day to share wisdom with our Art of Passive Income listeners. Are we good?
We are awesome. That was a blast, and you've inspired me to get moving more out of my chair here. I don't have a desk here, so I'm always walking around, but even in meetings, I don't need to be sitting down. I should be standing up like you. So thank you, Mark, for having me. Lots of energy, lots of fun, and really appreciate you including me. And yeah, get Dr. Mercola on your show so I can listen to his podcast.
That's my next email right now. All right, Brian, thanks so much. Okay. I want to thank the listeners. Let freedom ring.
Thanks for listening to the Art of Passive Income podcast. Start your journey at www.thelandgeek.com and www.scotttodd.net. Rate and review the podcast and email support@thelandgeek.com. Your screenshot for a free passive income launch kit.
And today's podcast is sponsored by Loan Geek. Start automating your payments and your notes. All right, enough's enough. My guest, you probably don't know his name, or maybe you do, is Brian Scudamore. But I guarantee if you're on planet Earth, you've heard of his companies. 1-800-GOT-JUNK, the CEO. Plus, you probably have heard about some of the other brands. Wow, One Day Painting, You Move Me, and Shack Shine. Dare I say our biggest guest ever, and we've had some big guests. It's going to be a great podcast. So if you're driving, you're going to want to pull over for this one. But before we get into my big guest, I want to plug away. So if you haven't gone to thelandgeek.com and you haven't downloaded for free the Passive Income Blueprint, or you haven't registered for free the Flight School web class, go ahead and do that. If you're not automating your Craigslist postings, go to postingdomination.com/thelandgeek. Brian, almost $1 billion in revenue?
The goal is $1 billion in revenue. You're way far ahead of us. We're a quarter of the way there, almost a third. And we are loving life. We're having fun. We're growing 4 brands. 1-800-GOT-JUNK is the biggest. It would account for 200 million. And we're taking the systems, the learning, the know-how from 1-800-GOT-JUNK, the first baby, so to speak, in the brands, and we're leveraging it into other home services, moving, gutter cleaning, painting people's homes in a day, you name it.
Come on, Brian.
Do you have solo economic dependency? That is, if you aren't working, you aren't making money. The Art of Passive Income podcast is the solution. Discover passive income models so you can enjoy life on your own terms. Let freedom ring.
Hey, it's Mark Podolsky, the Land Geek, with your favorite niche real estate website, www.thelandgeek.com. And before we get into my guest today, whom is, let's just, like, you know him, but you don't know him kind of guy. Like, he's kind of huge. Let's get real. You can't paint someone's home in a day.
Sure you can. You can paint a room in a day, right? We've all done it. You put 1 or 2 people in a room, you can paint it in a day. It's a numbers game. All we do is we put enough people in that house, 1 or 2 people in each room. So when my house got painted, when I first discovered, wow, One Day Painting as a concept, I was looking to get my house painted. And this company comes in and they put 16 people in my house. And I thought, 16 people, it just sounds crazy. But when I realized it was 1 to 2 people per room, that doesn't sound cluttered. Everybody focused on that one room